And welcome to Graham Cook from AllStar Lanes, who is my first Hospitality Talks interviewee since I got back from holiday. Graham, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for thinking of us.
For those of the people out there that are watching this who don't know who you are, who AllStar Lanes are, could you just give us a brief introduction, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm Graham Cook. I'm CEO of AllStar Lanes. We have 4 boutique bowling, dining and drinking venues within central London.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. So listen, we've been running these interviews now for the last 16 weeks or whatever it is, seems like 16 years. And we generally sort of ask people, what happened when coronavirus hit. I think we know that now. I think we know what happened. What I'm really interested to know is, what did you do immediately? And what have you been doing since? I mean, how did AllStar Lanes play its part in the industry or the community during lockdown?
Yes, of course. I think like everyone, there were some very dark planning days pre the announcement of the job retention scheme. That certainly came just after it was required and meant that we could flex our plans accordingly, holding on to team members and giving a clear path as to what happens next was so important in those early days. Of course, we then began our biggest challenge, addressing our largest cost outside of people, which is property, as with everybody. And everyone is an expert in hindsight, but in terms of the clarity and the visibility of support available for landlords to help their tenants at this time, that wasn't very forthcoming. So immediately we jumped on building local relationships with our landlords, really trying to work out agreements that work for both parties, because we respect they have bills to pay. Equally, they need tenants at the end of this. So it was really trying to build a partnership that worked for both.
And how receptive were they to that then initially?
Like everyone, a little bit in the dark. So trying to figure out what lockdown meant for them and what government support was available. So as with all of these things, not as quick as we would like, but we are grateful of the support we've received.
Great. Okay. And so then what happened with those venues after that initial right, okay, what do we do? And then the furlough scheme comes in, and then you start having the conversations with your landlords. And what happened to the venues? Were they mothballed, or did they do other things?
A little bit of a combination. I mean, we're predominantly at times like this, our main focus is to preserve the business and preserve cash flow. So it wasn't a time to experiment necessarily. Obviously our main pull is bowling and then karaoke. We are a leisure venue. We do have a strong F&B following within certain locations, and we're very blessed to have a large outdoor terrace within White City. So we did take full advantage of the beautiful weather we had during those early months until recently, and did open a bar restaurant concept with our brand sponsors Lance, and that was very successful. We were pleased with that.
Great. And so did you see the same people coming into that venue and that offering as you would normally see coming into the bowling and the karaoke on a day-to-day basis?
Nothing like the football, obviously. Nice to see some money coming in the doors, but nothing as we would expect usually, probably about 80% down across the estate. Okay. What was really nice to see, or hard at the time, but nice to see the amount of people coming saying, when are you opening? When can we bowl? We'd love to come back, which was encouraging for us on those darker days. So.
And so do you think that more than anything, that was almost a brand building situation that you put yourselves into, and it was about just retaining the loyalty of those customers that were coming previously?
Absolutely. And even, today we have a big portion of our business is events, private rooms, celebrations, corporate functions. And yes, as you say, a big part of our energy was around making sure we stay front of mind and people remember us as a destination for when they can visit again.
So moving on to when they can visit again, obviously you reopened last weekend, a little bit of a are you not happening over the last couple of weeks, which must have been frustrating to say the least. I'm sure there are possibly other words that you'd use for it. How did you prepare for that reopening?
Well, of course, we had a false start, as you say. We were due to open on the 1st of August, so we were so ready on the 1st. So by this weekend, we couldn't have been more prepped if we tried. The team have worked really hard and come up with some new concepts. It's not immediately something you think of when you look at building a bowling alley, putting in social distancing. So lots of creative measures. Really pleased to see them all working really, really well. We've screened all of our lanes, so we have individual partitioning, so people are within their household, which is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Many people are really pleased to see that the shoe policy has been relaxed, so you can bowl in your own shoes. We don't make you wear our shoes.
Well, I tell you what, there'll be teenage girls all over the country rejoicing that they don't have to wear
Yes.
bowling shoes with
Still
their
no high heels and stilettos, but yeah, any sort of soft or sports shoe or flat shoe is brilliant. We devised a scheme where we have dirty ball racks and clean ball racks, so every new set of guests get a new set of balls for their lane before they're taken away and sanitised. Obviously, with all bars and restaurants, we've got social distancing in place through the cocktail bars and restaurant and event spaces, hand sanitizer, PPE available for guests and for staff, and a really, really strong culture of safety within our floor management. You know, they are the people that we rely on to make sure all these measures are in place and they live and breathe. So yeah, so far so good. I've been around the estate this week, really pleased to see it in action. And most importantly, people are still having fun.
Well, exactly. And, you know, we've had this conversation before about hospitality. Yes, we need to be safe. We are aware of the fact that's the number one priority throughout the entire, well, I was going to say country, but world at the moment. But we are still hospitality. We need to be hospitable. We need to be showing people a great time. What kind of feedback have you had from consumers at this stage? I mean, I know you're only not that far in, but what?
Yeah, really positive. I think a lot of the feedback has nodded to the fact that people have been aware of what we've put in. And I think once a guest can see that we're on it and we've got measures in place and we're here to take care of those measures, then they can relax themselves and enjoy their experience more rather than being nervous about their surroundings, which is ultimately what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so other than the shoe policy, which, as I say, a lot of people will be rejoicing about, have there been any other challenges that, as you know, being in the leisure industry, that you've thought, right, well, we just simply can't do that anymore? Is there anything you've had to just go, right, look, we need to park that for a while?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we are an event space, and you know, a large proportion of our income comes from private events and corporate events. For that reason, we've still mothballed our Holborn venue, which is largely a corporate destination. Very different to our shopping centre concepts. It's Monday to Friday. It's people have to work. So, given they're all still in pyjamas at home, we made the decision probably best to park that till the autumn.
I thought this T-shirt might be a bit not quite as smart as I thought, but it's not pajamas, I promise.
Another area of consideration is karaoke rooms, and you know, very much like hotel spaces, we've gone for a very high level of deep clean in between guests, focusing on all touch points. We're changing microphone heads in between guests coming in, and of course, we're adhering to the rules around number of households, etc. Yeah. So it's largely been doable. It just takes a bit of pre-planning and a bit of thought.
And it sounds to me, you know, I mean, I was kind of surprised myself when you know, leisure venues such as yourselves were lumped in with gyms and the like of that. You know, the classification of that didn't really make a huge amount of sense to me, but it sounds to me like you are abiding by all of the rules and more as to what you should and shouldn't be doing. So, I mean, hopefully that will mean that I mean, I don't know how many are you looking at coming back to you at the moment? You know, what kind of capacity are the venues at?
We're roughly 80% across the lanes, which is good. We're very pleased to see people dying to come back and dying to get slots with us, which is really encouraging. Yeah. I would agree with you. I think we struggled over the classification, definitely. You know, we're responsible people. You know, health and safety and well-being of the public comes first, but yeah, come on, guys. If you go to the gym now, you can do other leisure activities. We didn't quite understand why we were singled out quite so much as we were.
Maybe the Tory government aren't all great bowlers or singers. Maybe that's it. Just one final question for you then, Graham. What's next? What's for the future for the sort of the leisure side of the hospitality industry, and of course for AllStar Lanes specifically?
I think the return, as we start to return from lockdown and go out and see the world again, it really, really proves, as we've always known, as human beings, we're very sociable animals. You know, we need to be doing things, meeting up with our friends and family, and, you know, we all saw the rise of activity-based experiential leisure offerings such as ourselves. So, you know, we really look forward to seeing the return of that customer base and then growing on that. Within our own centres, we're looking at diversification of offer, so more activities to do when you come and see us, generating more reasons to visit. We've always been very proud of our events team and the ability to throw a really good party. We started to look last year at conferencing and other reasons to use the venues during the day, during quieter times, because they are unique spaces in their own and they're beautifully designed spaces that have such multi-use to them. So that's our immediate focus.
That's brilliant. Graham Cook, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to get off this call and I'm going to go and speak to my husband. I'm going to get online. I'm going to go and book a lane and come and experience the new fantastically clean hospitality that I'm sure that you guys offer. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much indeed.